Today's adventure is going to take us to the Coso Range Wilderness area, just outside of Atlanta, California. Couple little cool springs up there, Centennial Springs, upper and lower, and we'll be hiking up the Centennial Canyon. When we get to the trailhead, we'll let you know what adventures we have planned today. Getting there, we'll head up the 14 to the 395 past Little Lake. We'll get to Atlanta and we'll make a right on 190. We'll continue on 190 when it hits a T. 136 will be to the left and 190 will be to your right. Make the right on 190. Then you'll make a right onto Centennial Road and you'll continue up Centennial until it makes a Y in the wash, and you want to stay to your right to the Centennial Springs Road. And when you get to the Astro Artsy cabin, you'll know you've reached your destination. Please note the road gets a little chunky in the wash area. Well, we made it to the Centennial Canyon, and I'm telling you, it is destroyed. I was up here several times a few years ago. On the road, you just drove right up. It was just like a nice, easy fire road, and now the amount of water that came through this canyon and just destroyed the road, destroyed the little camping area here behind me. We'll make it do. Yeah, so this was the road that I've come through before. It just drops off about 3 feet and then just goes across this big, nasty wash. And again, this used to be the road where I'm walking, and water came down this canyon, just took it all out. And where the road connected on the other side of this wash that used to not be here is now probably a 4 or 5 foot little sheer wall where the road used to be. So there's a little structure up here. We're gonna head up to that. I've been to it before, but yeah, this road is just destroyed. There's a little structure up there. Go check it out. So here's that little mining shed that I pointed out to you. Little corrugated steel, little roof on it. It's only latched with the clasp, but looks like probably somebody slept here. A couple bunks in there. A lot of rodent stuff. But yeah, it's got a couple little things in here, and pretty cool. I wouldn't say it's a real old cabin, but got some pretty cool rusty relics in here.
Wow, no kidding.
But up here is the, behind me over my right shoulder is the Centennial Canyon. That's the way we'll be headed up. Like I said, there's a couple springs up there, but it should be quite the adventure. We made it here safely. Well, this is the canyon we're gonna attempt to hike up. I've gone up Centennial Road several times and came into this wash from the top side. It's right at the border of the China Lakes Air Force Base. I did find a training dummy bomb up there. I'm kind of curious if it's still there. I know there's some wild horses in this area as well, and also some very cool petroglyphs. So we'll get a few shots of those, and we'll see if we can complete our quest of finding that dummy bomb up here. When I first found it, it was half buried, and it kind of looked like a old exhaust pipe out of a old Yamaha or Honda. It wasn't until I dug it up that I realized what it was. And you know why they call it a dummy bomb? Because only a dummy would pick it up. But looks like it could be quite treacherous with the amount of water that had come through here several years ago. There's looks like remnants of a little spring. Must be the lower Centennial Springs. So far, the wash has been pretty easy going. Looks like we've picked up quite a few remnant footprints of people that have been up and down the canyon. So I'm guessing it's going to be pretty easy going. Got beautiful Joshua trees on the left, and we've got junipers on the right. We'll just continue making our way up the canyon. There's quite a selection of rocks. A lot of beautiful green ones and volcanic ones. Peach, white, such a variety in the canyon. Quite spectacular. There's some very nice rock formations coming up the canyon. Had to do a little bouldering and a little scrambling, but nothing too crazy. This is our first sign of wild horses. We'll have to keep our eyes open for them. If we're lucky, maybe we'll catch a glimpse of one. Well, we've made it up to the Centennial Upper Springs. Actually, a little bit of flow coming down the canyon out of the spring. Been getting chilly at nights. There's still crusty ice along the spring. Pretty chilly. We found the remnants of an old rock shelter somebody was living in. There's a couple bed springs in here, along with a few remnants, a chair, lid to a tea kettle or coffee pot. Just rocks stacked up. Hard to believe somebody was living in here. Here's what looks to be the remnant of a corral of some sort holding livestock. Possibly that's what the structure was for. A couple cowboys or cowgirls. Here's a good size water trough. Certainly looks like it would have been used for livestock. Well, looks like we found the source of the spring, and as I was approaching, I was able to see a small Cooper's hawk that was getting a drink of water. Wonderful to see that type of wildlife out here. Well, we spotted our first wild horse. Unfortunately, things didn't end well for him or her. Looks like the bones have been picked pretty clean. Made it to the head of the canyon. This is where the majority of petroglyphs are located. They do take a little bit of bouldering and rock scrambling. They seem to be up and out of the canyon a little bit. Well, this was a very interesting and somewhat crazy find. Right near one of the petroglyphs, I looked down on a rock and I found this piece of obsidian, which is very out of place. I don't know of any obsidian in the area. The only obsidian I know of comes from the Mammoth area. So I wonder what the chances of one of the artists bringing down a piece of obsidian from Mammoth when they came down here to hang out in the winter time, possibly saving it to make an arrowhead out of. Well, that finishes our adventure for the day. We're going to head back down the canyon. I'll post the hike on Strava so you can see what kind of distance and elevation that we did. As far as my quest for the dummy bomb that we left up here several years ago, I could not locate it. I have a feeling that the flood came in and covered it with sand. I'll get out there and do some exploring for yourself.